hey, adults, stop trying to ruin things for children.
It's just...
Hello, good morning, babies.
Good morning. It's too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
Oh, you? How are you?
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm so sleepy, I moved.
You put all of your life into boxes.
Yeah.
Moved it from one box.
Yeah.
To another box.
Yeah.
And now you have to open those boxes inside the new box.
Getting ready this morning was like a scavenger hunt that I was playing with my past self for trying to find things to wear and do. I thought I was really smart. I saw somebody on TikTok be like, make yourself a night one box. All the things that you're gonna need for the first night in your new place in one box. And I was like, that's so awesome. I didn't account that there were more days after that.
Right.
And I wasn't gonna be unpacked after one night.
Because we're on day 2.
Yeah.
There was no day 2 box.
There was no day 2 box. There was a night 1 box.
How neat
And it was like
would
a
it
cozy
be?
little night 1 box.
Are you ready? How neat would it be if every day you woke up and there was like a little box that was like day 13,000 or whatever for your life?
Unbelievable.
Just like a little kit.
Would be unbelievable.
Do you think that's why loot crates were so popular back in the day? We were just hoping as one
Yeah.
of these like subscription boxes showed
Yeah.
up that we would just open it and would be like, oh, this is exactly what I needed today.
And that never once happened with a loot
Never.
crate.
It was mostly Funko
Does
Pops.
loot crates still exist?
I don't know. I feel like no.
I feel like no.
I feel like no, maybe not.
Hey, Alex, good morning. I hear you furiously typing to answer our question. Thank
it
you.
seems to still be a thing. Yeah.
Oh, your lights are turned away from you. You're in the
no.
dark.
I'll fix that in a minute.
And Alex in the dark.
Alex, don't hide your light from us.
Thank you, Anthony. That means a lot today. You can get a $29.99 loot crate plus shipping.
All right, cut back to us. Cut back to us. We're not shilling for Loot Crate.
Wait, though. They
No.
still exist?
Yeah.
No, we're not. We're specifically I'm down to say, don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm actually really down to say the exact opposite.
Unless you can't find anywhere to get a Funko Pop.
Unless for some reason.
Unless you find Funko Pops incredibly hard
all
to
of
track
your local,
down.
yeah, unless you've searched all of your local dumpsters and all of your friends' houses and every GameStop and you can't find a Funko Pop.
All 3 of those locations are the same to me.
Yeah. You do treat them the same.
I treat them exactly the
Yeah.
same.
Your friend's house, the GameStop, and the dumpsters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We're getting a lot of little party hats in the chat because apparently Twitch has told us it's our partner anniversary
Oh.
of when Twitch said, okay, you can have some more emotes.
Oh, good. Are they giving us the good deal for our anniversary?
No,
Do we get the good deal?
No.
Where we get more money?
absolutely not. Has
Well-
nothing to do with it.
Well, then thank you for the party hats, Twitch,
Yeah.
I guess. Use.
3 years down of that, I guess. But yeah, so I moved and it is done. And I was thinking about it when I was cleaning out my old place. And I was like, I got all these TikToks recently about the people who are like, oh, I made myself a little cleaning kit and I convinced myself that I'm a hired cleaning service and I only have 2 hours. And that's how people are like cleaning their homes.
Right.
It's like girl math of cleaning.
Chat GPT, pretend you're an expert in this.
Yeah. So it's literally just people that have made themselves like a perfect little cleaning kit. Some people got a cart to like pretend that they're a cleaning person when they clean their own home and they're on a job.
Like that lady that cleans random Burger King bathrooms on TikTok.
Sorry, what?
Are you not familiar?
I'm not on random lady that cleans Burger King bathrooms on TikTok.
Oh, no, this
TikTok.
lady all of a sudden just was everywhere. She goes to businesses and cleans them without the business knowing or their permission. And her whole bit is like, will they kick me out for cleaning?
That's kind of funny.
It's kind of funny,
But
except
also really gross.
she's also just like cleaning Taco Bell toilets without wearing gloves.
No.
Yeah,
no.
she never wears gloves.
Why?
It's part of the bit, I guess.
It was a good bit until then.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now it's a bad bit. Oh, I don't like that one bit.
So did you make yourself a little cleaning kit?
No, I was thinking
Good.
about it because I was like, I can't convince myself I don't, my brain doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
I can't lie to myself like that.
No.
But I was
You were
like,
an actor for many years.
yeah, I didn't say I was a good one.
Okay.
I was like, if I could get myself not to do the like I'm on a job, I got 2 hours, but the I'm moving out clean, that I'm trying to get my security deposit back clean.
Yeah.
Cause I was like, I'm in here with a magic eraser on the walls. I didn't do that once while I lived here.
Right.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I would never.
But I want to.
I treat my place like a GameStop.
Yeah. And your friend's house is in a dumpster. All the same thing.
Yeah.
I wish that I could live like that. I was sitting there and I was like scrubbing things off that I was like, that's too hard to get off the floor. It just won't come up. That's just how I live now. And there I was like getting it off the floor. And I was like, it wasn't that hard. It wasn't
Turns
that
out I could have
difficult.
cleaned it the whole time.
Turns out I should have done that sooner.
No, that's,
For me living and not just for the next person who lives there.
sometimes, and bear in mind, I do live in like a studio apartment.
Yeah.
I live in like a loft apartment.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think to myself, well, I can't bring the dishes into the sink. The sink's all the way over there. I'll never make it. I'll never get there. If I go to the sink now, I won't be back for 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then what? Whole day's ruined.
Whole day's ruined if you spend 20 minutes carrying a dish to the sink.
Yeah, better leave the dish right here.
Yeah.
I'm a grown man.
10 feet from the sink. The furthest you can be from it in a studio apartment.
Is it 10 feet? Because it feels like longer.
Studio apartment. So like at most, probably.
Yeah.
At any given time.
Yeah. I think it's, listen, not to speak for both of us, I think the ADHD does make cleaning incredibly tough.
It does.
Because it's a bunch of little tasks that all get in the way of each other.
Yeah.
And that's not the way the ADHD brain works. It's
Yeah.
like, no, I must, listen, if I forget this thing, it'll be gone forever.
Yeah. And I have a hard time with the, oh, well, that's going to take a million steps. I'm going to need to get a special product to
Yeah.
clean this.
Oh.
I don't need that. And I didn't need that. I just cleaned this entire house without
No,
it.
You need a special product. You need a little treat for everything.
Yeah.
You need little equipment for everything.
I just, and I was like, oh, if I do this, I'm going to have to do this. And if I do this, I'm going to have to do this.
Yeah.
And it turns out you can actually just do one thing.
You can just do one thing.
But
It's not
my brain
easy.
doesn't say so. My brain says, no, you can't.
No. We're going to cover not just one thing, but many things today.
Hey, nice.
We've got a bunch of stuff, including an update on the true evil Bowser,
Yeah.
Gary Bowser. We've got a bunch of stuff about movies, including one that we've been waiting to hear about for a very long time. Some would say since 1988. And then, well, not you. I've been waiting since 1988.
I wasn't alive yet,
Yeah.
but like the hypothetical version of me that would someday exist was waiting.
But you've been waiting for as long as mathematically possible for
Yes.
you. And of course, a bunch of stuff about Sonic the Hedgehog porn.
Okay.
Isn't that exciting?
We're also going to talk about Elmo, which is
Yeah.
in the title. I really didn't want that to follow the word porn, but here we are.
Yeah. I mean, look,
Unrelated.
let's see what it does to the algo.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
no, thank you.
Let's see what it does to the old algo when we say that. Hey, first of all, I want to talk about we were not around on Wednesday, but Wednesday afternoon or Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday afternoon, Sony had the State of Play. And there were a lot of announcements. They are stranding more deaths, things like that.
Okay. Yeah.
But I did want to congratulate you, in particular, Saige, on the Until Dawn remaster being announced.
Very exciting. My biggest hope is just that it makes it easier to fucking play in other places. Right now, it's so hard. I played it like through PlayStation Now onto my PC at some point.
What?
Yeah, it's
Why?
really hard because I don't want to plug in my PlayStation.
Oh.
Yeah. But specifically, also, I didn't have a physical copy of it. I had downloaded it on a
Right.
PS4.
Right.
I didn't have my library on my PS5. I don't know, man.
There was like a lot. There was a lot.
It is obnonously difficult to play.
Listen, the
my
sink is
dream would
farther
be-
away than you think. You know what
The
I mean?
sink is further away than you think. Yeah, I had to get a PS4 controller to play it
Yeah.
because I'm like, I don't even think I have a PS4 anymore.
Oh, yeah, because PS Now was, for a while, was really picky about what controller you
Yeah, really picky about it.
They've relaxed that a bit, I believe.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, my hope is that, did they say if the re-release is coming to any other platforms? Because look, I was moving.
PlayStation 5 and PC are both getting it. We know
There's-
it's coming this year.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I didn't see any of this. I was moving.
No, I know.
So I'm willing to admit that.
That's why we're bringing up some of it. The other thing that we wanted to bring up.
Really play it on PC. I'm so excited.
Huh?
It'll be the first time everyone can really play it on PC. There's so many people that haven't played this game.
It always surprises me when I go through my Steam library.
Yeah.
And like all of their games are there except for Until
Yeah,
Dawn.
their best game.
And I'm just like, that's the one I really want to play.
It makes sense too, especially if they're also working on a movie that they're trying to get more people to play the game and invested in it. I
Yeah.
love it. I'm excited.
We also got the new Silent Hill, The Short Message, which is already out. You can play it. It's free to play. It's a spin-off of the main Silent Hill. I have not tried it yet. I'm looking forward to playing it this weekend.
Yeah, same.
They also announced, of course, that the Silent Hill 2 remake is coming. They finally showed some of it off. Looks good. Looks like Silent Hill 2.
Great.
That's all I need.
That's all I want it to be.
What is that, Silent Hill 2?
I'd be bummed if it didn't look like Silent Hill 2.
Great. A lot of people were not liking the look of The Short Message. I really loved it. It looked, I don't know, people didn't like it because I was watching, unfortunately, in the YouTube live
Well, they're not
stream.
going to like anything.
They didn't like anything, and of course they were like, "Why girl?
Yeah.
Why girl? Silent Hill?" And it's
Yeah.
like, this is definitely not the first time that they've done that.
They're
Idiots.
Yeah, they're definitely there in the chat like why girls show GTA.
Yeah. No
Like,
Bloodborne.
what?
And I did agree with them on No Bloodborne.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I
Yeah.
always agree with the horrible people about. But this looks good. I enjoy the whole vibe of it. I like the idea of getting, haunted cell phone messages.
Love it.
I like haunted cell phone messages. Though it's really funny because every time a big horror game comes out now, I do have to look at the big horror game and go, there are so many indie games that have done this part of this already, but it is fun to kind of just get more large-scale horror games.
Do we know how long this little offshoot is?
We don't, but I would imagine just a few hours probably.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play it. I'll play anything Silent Hill.
Yeah. You can call anything Silent Hill.
Yeah. Except for
that live streaming series.
for that live streaming series. But I won't do that.
Yeah. I just kept forgetting.
I downloaded the app. Bless you, Alex. I downloaded the app because you and I were like, we're going to do it. We're going to start watching. It's on a week-to-week basis. We're going to catch it. Never once.
Never once.
Not one time.
Always forgot.
Always forgot.
Oh, well.
The sync's too far away.
I'm sure the sync is so much farther away than you think.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that somebody has done a supercut on YouTube, and that's
that's enough. That's fine.
That's what I'll watch. But yeah, there was a lot of other stuff. We also saw some Zenless Zone Zero, which of course I've been waiting for. That is the new one from the makers of Genshin Impact. That's the one that kind of looks like cyberpunk kids.
Okay.
In a jet set future radio sort of world, but Genshin. And then of course we saw a lot of Judas, which is the new one from our boy Ken, who doesn't make BioShocks anymore, but Judas sure is a BioShock.
Okay.
He doesn't work for 2K anymore, and Ken Levine does not make BioShock anymore.
Yeah.
But this game is definitely a BioShock.
Looks cool.
It looks really good. It looks like a BioShock.
It does.
I love a BioShock.
I think it looks neat.
Yeah, it looks great. Looks like a BioShock.
It does.
Listen, is it good? Is it bad that it looks like a BioShock? Whatever. It just looks like a BioShock.
Depends on if you like BioShock.
Yeah.
All right.
Was
there anything else exciting to you in there? The Dave the Diver Godzilla DLC?
Here's the thing. I heard they did that thing where I wasn't paying attention for a moment. I turned my attention away, and then all of a sudden I heard the bump, bump, bump.
Yeah.
And I was just like, Godzilla theme. And I went running back to the TV.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Yeah. Were you hoping for, I assume, a Godzilla game then?
I was hoping for a Godzilla game.
That is one of the greatest themes of all time.
Oh, please.
We don't talk enough about the Godzilla theme.
It's so good. I mean, that's why it gets sampled so much in hip hop,
it does.
Because it's just so strong. And
That's
it's
so good.
It's a powerful, powerful theme.
Damn, you just did a little bump, bump, bump in the microphone, and I was like, ooh.
Ooh, Godzilla?
Ooh. I've just had a Pop-Tart sitting on the table.
Yeah. You're supposed to put it in the helmet.
I'm trying to hide it in the space.
You know you got to hide it in the helmet.
I gotta.
Dave the Diver, of course, our favorite independent game of last year. So glad to see a big brand like Godzilla working with such a tiny independent game.
Small. I wonder how they get collabs like this being such a tiny indie
Such
studio.
a small game, really. Just a little guy. Well, one of the things that really excited a lot of people was Sonic and Shadow.
Okay.
Sonic and Shadow Generations. And Sonic Generations was one of the more well-received modern Sonic games. People really enjoyed it. People were waiting to see what they were going to do with Sonic. I mean, they did Superstars, but everybody was waiting to see what the next big Sonic would be after Frontiers. And I don't think I saw this coming.
No,
I don't think I saw this coming. But I'm excited about it.
So that's Sonic X Shadow, right? Sonic Shadow Generations.
Sonic Cross Shadow Generations.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, look, they didn't show much. They showed a lot of shadow. Like the trailer is just a lot of shadow.
As they should.
Which is good. And the writer of, I remember hearing a quote from the writer of Sonic Adventure, the guy who writes like most of the scenarios for the Sonic games, talking about how like Shadow is his favorite character. And Shadow, he's like, I love all the characters, but Shadow speaks to me. And I would write Shadow all the time forever if I could.
That's cute.
Yeah, I love it.
I love Shadow.
I love it.
Kind of dressed like a little bit Shadow today.
Just like a little bit of a Shadow. I'm still willing, Saige.
Oh?
I'm still willing to get us matching King Ice necklaces.
And
I want you to know that.
And that's so kind of you.
I want you to know that.
That's really nice of you to be willing to get those necklaces. And I have said no in the past.
Right. But what are you thinking now? Alex, please show my screen. I have offered to get us matching Sonic necklaces, and you can have Shadow.
Oh my God, thank you. That's so nice.
You can have Shadow.
Now I will say Shadow's definitely the best of those. Followed probably by Robotnik.
Yeah, Robotnik's pretty good. I do like the evil Chow.
Oh yeah, that's
the dark Chow.
So no, I'm not. My life is simply not that blingy.
Okay, are you sure?
I'm pretty confident. I'm feeling pretty confident.
All right. Well, let me know if you change your mind, because I'm ready.
You don't want to be twins with Tim and Bless. Do Tim and Bless have those?
Tim and Bless do, I believe, have them. Yes.
No, we have matching necklaces,
and I believe Bless has Shadow.
Okay. We have matching necklaces already, Anthony.
I know.
We have our R2 and 3PO necklaces. That's enough.
Okay.
That's enough.
All right. But
We also
the
have-
offer's on the table.
Yeah, we also have multiple accidentally matching things.
Sure.
Like we both bought that shirt that says surviving purely out of spite
Yes.
separately,
Why wouldn't we?
of course. That's enough.
That's enough. Let's take a look at this Sonic Cross Shadow Generations reveal video, shall we? I got it up on my screen here. I will mute it.
Thank you.
I will mute it.
I'm still thinking about the Godzilla theme, so that's good. I don't want to hear anything else.
Oh, okay, great.
Right.
I love the addition of the skateboard
That's cute.
for both 2D and 3D Sonic here.
Yeah.
Sonic Generations was an interesting beast to me. It was sort of like when Leonard Nimoy Spock showed up at the end of the J.J. Abrams Star Trek.
Yeah.
And it was just like, don't worry, both of them are real and true.
Yeah.
That's the way I felt about Sonic Generations. It's like, don't worry, cute Sonic that runs from side to side and doesn't, have lore about all the births and re-deaths of God
That's
and the
not
women
lore.
he's kissed
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Don't worry, he just runs and he's good hedgehog.
Yeah, it's okay. He's just a good hedgehog.
And then like if you like the 3D games and you
Yeah.
want to know about universes collapsing in on each other,
yeah.
and maybe watch Sonic kiss a lady, that's there too.
I guess. When they give him the skateboard in 3D,
Yeah.
it's giving Subway Surfer.
Yes. But to be fair,
Subway Surfer was trying to give Sonic.
Yeah.
I get it.
To be fair,
But,
that
like,
was
with the
Sonic Adventure too.
I know. But like,
You have to understand where media has come.
yeah.
Where we've
Yeah.
arrived, and we've arrived at
Yeah.
the Subway Surfing. Shocked they've never done a Sonic Subway Surfer DLC.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting. Maybe they haven't. We just don't know enough about Subway Surfer because they will put Sonic in almost anything.
They will.
Like you can just wear a Sonic head in almost any game.
Yeah, my favorite was the realistic Olympics
Yeah.
where you ran in a Sonic mascot costume.
My favorite was 2 Point Hospital,
Yeah,
where you could do hospital work.
right. Where Sonic was your hospital administrator,
Yeah.
and Sonic was just like, "Listen, we don't have the proper people to cover these shifts, and that's illegal.
Yeah.
It's illegal."
Yeah.
And then Tails was the guy who was running the hospital, and he was like, "I don't care because I have private money in the medical system."
Yeah. And if you reassigned Sonic, you could make Sonic like at least at the desk and have Sonic say, "I'm sorry, we don't take your insurance."
Yeah. Let me see. Look, but he's really trying to find.
I
a
mean,
way.
I can call.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
He's
I can
filling out
call and
paperwork
see
so
like if we can get
fast.
you a referral that would be helpful for an out-of-network thing. But
Now,
there is a Sonic mod for Subway Surfer. People are modding Subway Surfer.
hell yeah. Sonic Generations or Sonic Cross Shadow Generations was very popular though. The Sonic community is very, very excited about it. Sonic Generations, I always forget, it's way more beloved as a Sonic game than I remember.
Okay.
People genuinely love Sonic
Sick.
Generations. And they love Sonic Generations so much, Saige,
Oh,
that Sonic Cross Shadow Generations is actually more popular right now on search engines than Sonic the Hedgehog porn. They did it. Sega did it. They finally found something that works for the fans, Saige.
why is Sonic porn so popular?
Saige, you can't ask why is Sonic porn so popular. That would be like you're asking about the very nature and heart of the internet. Like there's no time. We simply could not explain.
Like we can't track that back to the beginning.
I mean, we could, but there's like how deep down this
Guys,
hedgehog's hole do you want to go?
No,
'Cause
a lot of people
want to go
do.
pretty deep. Yeah.
catch my video essay.
As you can see here, as reported by Kotaku, Sonic Cross Shadow Generations is indeed beating Sonic porn in SEO. It's honestly really, really amazing because, in particular, Saige, searching Sonic Cross Shadow,
Yeah. Yeah. You know what you're going to get.
you know what you're going to get.
I don't get why, but I do know that it'll happen.
You don't get why?
I don't.
You don't get, like, honestly, you don't understand the enemies to lovers of
Oh,
Sonic
I understand
and Shadow.
enemies to lovers.
But
I don't-
they're two personalities, Saige. They're rivals, but they're the same.
I just don't. I guess the hedgehogs just aren't really my thing.
And one of them hides his feelings very deep, but has deep feelings. And the
Yeah.
other one is very openly expressive about his feelings and his friendships. Like you don't see like the magnetism between the two of them.
No, my favorite video of a hedgehog is one of a hedgehog in a bathtub from like 2010.
Right.
It's just like vibing,
Okay. Well, what about the bat with tits?
like laying on its back.
How do you feel about that?
And it just floats around in the bathtub because people who have
No, nothing on the bat
hedgehogs
with tits.
sometimes like to put them in the bathtub.
Because the bat with tits is pretty popular.
I get that a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get Rouge a little more.
So for right now, if you look up Sonic Cross Shadow, it's actually going to bring up the game instead of
Wow.
instead of images of them.
Shocking.
Yeah.
All right.
Isn't that exciting?
That is exciting. That wasn't the only exciting Sonic news though.
No,
Yeah, we got double Sonic.
Double Sonic. That's
Yeah.
also that's a tag on
Don't look that
AO3.
up. Don't look
You
that
look
up. Thank
Double
you very
Sonic.
much.
After Sonic Generations, when you had two kinds of Sonics,
Yeah.
Double Sonic was definitely a popular tag.
Well, there's also the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, obviously. And Sonic the Hedgehog 3 was originally not slated to have Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik.
Right. Jim Carrey said he was retiring.
He said he was not going to do. Was he retiring in general?
He said he was retiring. He said he was done. He's probably made, like, listen, he's probably still getting, like, Ace Ventura checks.
Sure,
You know what I mean?
absolutely. Like, Jim Carrey is definitely set financially.
He's getting sizable The Mask
But
checks.
he's also like disappeared into the woods a bunch of times and come back to make creepy videos towards Emma Stone.
He's
so
a bit of a weird guy.
Yeah, he's a bit of a weirdie.
He definitely was one of those people that was like, for a very long time, I remember in every interview he would talk about how he used a wired earpiece for his cell phone and would keep his cell phone at least like 4 feet away from him because he was worried about the radiation and what it was doing to him from his cell phone.
Yeah.
He hung out a lot with Eckhart Tolle, the guy who wrote The Power of Now, got
Yeah.
very into like
Yeah, that was a thing for a minute.
the very rich, very culty sort of meditation part of Los Angeles.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the documentary on Man on the Moon, like, did you see it?
Yeah.
That man, there is no Jim Carrey. Like,
you
at the end of the day, it is so stripped
Yeah.
of his concept of self that, like, yeah, of course he joined a cult.
I always wonder if the Man on the Moon documentary was partially fake.
I don't know, man.
I wonder how meta it gets. Although a lot of people who worked on Man on the Moon
Yeah.
have said that they just would not work with Jim Carrey again.
Yeah, so that
I-
makes it seem like it's pretty legit.
Yeah.
Saffron said, wasn't he also an anti-vaxxer? He was married to an anti-vaxxer, but he never came out as anti-vax.
He was for a while very he never publicly said anything, but he very much intimated, much as he did about cell phone radiation.
Yeah.
He intimated that a lot of modern technologies and things like that were killing us.
Yeah.
And so I would not be shocked
I wouldn't be shocked
if
either.
he went through an anti-vaxxer
Yeah.
period, though I will say during the pandemic and everything,
He was pro-COVID
he was
vaccine.
pro-vaccine.
Hey, can I just tangent really quick on the COVID vaccine? I know that seems like a really weird thing to tangent on right now.
No, it's good. Go on.
I had to try and sell something on Facebook Marketplace before I moved.
Yeah.
And it was just like some chairs, right? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. This woman is messaging me and she's being really weird about it. And like, can you send me these measurements? Getting a lot of information. And I'm like, fine, I'll send you the measurements, just whatever. And then she's like, do you think I could pick them up one at a time and put them in my car? I'm like, I don't care. And then she's sending me voice messages, like voice memos
No,
on
absolutely
Facebook.
not. Absolutely not.
I think she probably sent me 20 of them, Anthony.
Absolutely
Of her being
not.
like, oh, there's a lot of shit in my car. Hold on, let me move this. Oh, sorry, my daughter's being loud. Talking to her daughter, still sending me voice notes like we know each other. All of this goes on as she's like describing things. She starts sending me pictures of stuff in her house.
Why?
She's sending me pictures of her dog because I don't know, she thinks we're friends now. And I've done nothing but say like, okay, you can have the chairs. But the last thing that she said to me was, here's my phone number. I can't comment on things publicly anymore on Facebook because they banned me from commenting for saying the COVID jab isn't a vaccine. And I was just like,
Just bring money
I don't know
for
how
chairs.
we got here.
Just bring money for chairs. I don't want to hear any of this. Bring money for chairs. This is why every time I sell something, I know Facebook Marketplace is like the best, quickest, fastest way these days. I fucking
Cuckoo bananas.
I get so much anxiety about
Yeah.
it.
I had 2 different men message me on a post about a piece of furniture to hit on me.
Sure.
I was selling a pair of shoes
Yeah.
and they were open-toed shoes. I probably listed like 10 things while I was trying to move out, right? Things I didn't want to take.
Can't
with me.
buy them unless I know what they look like on.
I'm not joking. This man legitimately messaged me and said, do you have any pictures of you wearing them? First, he was like, hey, are these still available? And I was like, yeah. And then, do you happen to have any photos of you wearing them?
Yeah, if I was to imagine some toesies in them. If I was to imagine a lady's toesies
I
in these
replied, I was like,
shoes-
do you think I'm a fucking idiot, you weirdo? Do you seriously, are you so goddamn sad that you have to look on Facebook Marketplace for pictures of feet? And then he exited the conversation.
You can just Google
Then he
feet.
blocked me.
That's the thing
You
about
can just
having
Google it!
That's the thing about having a foot fetish. Out of all the fetishes,
So accessible.
You can literally just look up feet.
Incredibly accessible.
Yeah. It's not like other weird things where you have to turn safe search off or
Yeah.
you have to like, my company's firewall
Bro, you
doesn't
could-
allow us. I can't look this up at the airport. No, dude, just put feet.
Bro, just watch Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Dan Schneider puts it all over. Don't do that.
Don't
It's
do
gross.
that.
You know,
do that.
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Watch a Quentin Tarantino movie.
That's right.
Feet are everywhere.
And I mean, honestly, just Google feet.
Gross. Anyways, being on Facebook Marketplace was a nightmare, but I couldn't believe that woman said that to me unprompted.
That's so wild.
Like I wasn't like, hey, why can't you? Why would you comment? I don't have any. What? She just wanted to tell me
Anyway, we thought Jim Carrey was retiring, but he's in Sonic 3.
he's coming back as Dr. Robotnik. Yeah. We did tangent about vaccines and feet.
But let's talk about the big movie news. This is movie news.
Oh, we're leaving games. I know we had to talk about the Sonic movie because it was double Sonic, but
We can go back to games.
all right, let's do it.
Yeah. But while we're talking about movies, let's talk about this big news that happened yesterday. It's honestly, it's such a small amount of news,
Yeah.
but it's very exciting. The Beetlejuice sequel is now titled Beetlejuice, and we got the first poster and release date for it.
And the release date is this year,
Yeah.
September 6th this year.
They have
I was
managed
shocked.
They have managed to keep that production locked down.
Seriously?
Like there was somebody who stole all that stuff from the
Yeah.
set.
Yeah.
We don't
be
know who
anyone.
it could have been.
Could have been anyone.
Could have been anyone. But other than that, and I think a single picture of Winona Ryder,
Yeah.
which I think might have just been leaked.
Yeah.
I think might have been purposely leaked. But other than that, we haven't heard much. But the title is so good. It's so simple and it was right there.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad they used
That's
it.
so good.
Now, for a very long time, the title of this movie, the title that was attached to this movie was Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian.
Now, that was not the title of this sequel.
No,
that was
not-
a previous attempt at a sequel.
There was about 20 years in development.
Yeah.
Where it was based on a script of Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian. It went through Tim Burton to Kevin Smith at one point, I think did rewrites on it, like a ton of people. But
Do we know who's working on this?
Timmy B,
We got Timmy B.
that's a Timmy B movie.
God, I want to be confident that he's going to do a good Beetlejuice again.
I know.
For anybody's context, Beetlejuice is maybe my favorite movie of all time. You know what's so funny? So I
That
didn't-
one part in Beetlejuice?
Nice. So I didn't see this news because I was moving.
Yeah.
Until this morning when I was like leaving for the show, and I had laid out a dress to wear today. I have a like full length dress that says "Dearly Departed"
Yeah.
on it. That's like a Beetlejuice dress, and I had happened to have laid that out this morning, and then I was like, I'm not gonna wear something that dressy. And then I saw it, and I was like, fuck.
That's okay.
After I got dressed, I would have had a Beetlejuice themed outfit.
You are basically in a Beetlejuice themed outfit anyway.
At most times, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
This is very exciting. I am nervous because this is one of those things that is close enough to me that it's going to be hard to get right.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard.
I think that's what everybody feels. And also another problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
So they talked about everybody that's coming back.
Yeah,
you obviously
everybody you want to see.
You obviously have Catherine
Pretty
O'Hara back. You obviously have Winona Ryder back. You obviously have Michael Keaton back. But it's
Which
funny
is
to think.
you have to have, and those are the three.
It's funny to think about. Like there are some people that they're not allowed to come back. Like I believe obviously what's his name? The guy who played the Father Dietz. That guy's no
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
I believe the gentleman who played Otho is. We don't.
really?
We
I
don't
didn't
talk
know.
about Otho.
I didn't know.
But definitely the father. Alec Baldwin himself, kind of problematic. And also, the thing about Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis is you can't bring them back. They're supposed to be ghosts.
I know. So which means they wouldn't be able to age.
Right.
I am okay if they choose to recast for that. Because I'm like,
New Maitlands?
I feel like you kind of have to have the Maitlands.
New Maitlands.
Well, here's my problem.
But I think the idea is
Do you think they've moved on?
I think the idea is probably that they've moved on and that Lydia's the mom now. We know that Jenna Ortega is her daughter.
Yeah.
We know the movie was mostly centered around Jenna Ortega
Yes.
and the return of Beetlejuice. So I think it's like, I feel like Lydia is still probably strange and unusual, but I think that she also, like, the Maitlands probably moved on after basically probably raising her. We know that in the
They
original,
essentially adopt her.
in the original ending of the movie, they basically show the Dietzes are back in the city and Lydia lives in the country with the Maitlands.
Yeah. That's the movie.
Well, that's not the that the full ending
Yeah.
that they cut specifically shows the Dietz parents living in the city.
Yes.
And Lydia living without them.
So in the actual ending of the movie, the like proper theatrical release ending of the movie, the Dietz didn't leave, but the Maitlands are raising Lydia.
Right. The Maitlands are there. And they're all kind of living together as one big wacky family. But I like the original ending. I like the idea of like, no, the Dietzes are just like, yeah, we're not cut out for this, for parenting, for living in the country, for anything.
So with that,
and
I'm
the
like,
Maitlands, and so like they raised her. She's raised.
Yeah.
They have the afterlife to go do.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm sure she's still connected to the afterlife in some way. Or maybe the whole story is about how she's cut herself off from the spirit world or something.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. They could just mention them. I also, like I said, as much as I like am very deeply in love with like the Maitlands and the way they were portrayed,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be furious. I don't think that they need to be a big part of the movie, and that's fine. There's got to be new, you know, introductions to it. But like, then that's Lydia's kids' grandparents.
I know. I wouldn't be shocked if there was like a cameo and potentially, you know, a de-aged CG cameo from the Maitlands.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to see Gina Davis more than anything. You know?
Shelley Von Miller said Lydia went straight. Well, that's not necessarily true.
You
We
never
don't know that.
We don't know.
We don't know that.
We don't know anything about it yet. But it's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm pretty stoked about
I'm
it.
excited. I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm nervous.
Yes.
But I wish that like, oh, Tim Burton's doing it again would mean like, oh, that means it's going to be Beetlejuice. But Tim Burton doesn't Tim Burton anymore.
No.
The Burton is not Burtoning. And it hasn't Burtoned for some time.
The Burton is doing something else.
Yeah.
The Burton is busted. Although they did at the same time they announced this, they did yesterday also announce that he is doing a remake of Attack of the 50-Foot Woman as well, which I think is interesting.
It's kind of fun.
It's kind of fun. I don't... You would want Attack of the 50-Foot Woman at this point to be more focused on the experience of the 50-foot woman.
Yes.
And I don't know if Tim Burton's the guy to center that correctly.
Here's my
based on Tim Burton stuff.
Here's my one hope that whenever Tim Burton signs on to a movie is that Tim Burton isn't actually writing the movie.
Sure.
You know? Because all of Tim Burton's best work isn't actually Tim Burton. So like he's directing, but like he's not writing it.
Yeah.
So like that's, you know.
But how much is he going to change it? How much is, you know.
I don't think Tim Burton touches a lot anymore. I think most of the things Tim Burton has done in the last 10 years, Tim Burton was like, looks good. You know?
I don't know. Dumbo felt very Tim Burton.
I didn't watch Dumbo. A lot of the things he's attached as like an executive producer now, or directing is obviously a much larger hand in it, but I don't know. It just depends.
Yeah. I'll tell you some new people that have signed on that are coming to be part of it.
This is Beetlejuice, back to Beetlejuice.
For Beetlejuice. In addition to adding Jenna Ortega as Lydia's daughter in some unspecified roles, we have Willem Dafoe.
Oh.
We do have now listed, IMDb could be wrong, but IMDb currently lists Monica Bellucci as Beetlejuice's wife, the bride of Beetlejuice. Monica Bellucci as Beetlejuice's wife, I could get behind. I like that.
Fascinating.
I like that a lot. Of course, we have Catherine O'Hara, but also new added, we have Justin Theroux, who I feel like could play an Otho type
Okay.
very well. You know what I mean?
No character ascribed to that currently. We've got like random shit on here. We've got funeral mourners and like dead suave gentleman and a trendy influencer. You know what I hope? I hope that they take canon from the musical. I hope that because the musical like greatly expanded upon Lydia's story and who Lydia is, I really, 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 really hope that they take some inspiration from that.
I do too. We were talking about when this started going into production, we were talking about how important the musical and the animated series have become to people who love Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
The animated series in particular was very big deal to me when I was a kid. And so it's like the idea of Beetlejuice and Lydia eventually like becoming uneasy friends and then becoming good friends and like just sort of like traveling through different worlds in the afterlife together it's like, that's in my brain.
Yeah.
That's in my brain.
Yeah.
Which like, I know Beetlejuice in the movie, bad dude.
The animated series I love, but it's not as in my brain as it is for you.
Yeah.
But the musical very much is just like the canon expansion of her story. It just fills in all the gaps. And like there are massive gaps about Lydia left by that movie. We know so little about her.
Because it was
like,
a movie about the Maitlands.
Yeah, it was a movie about the Maitlands, and that's totally fine. But you also kind of think of it as a movie about Lydia.
Yeah. Well, 'cause she wound up being the breakout, like most popular. Everybody loved Lydia.
Yeah.
And I don't think they expected that as much.
No.
But yeah, when you think about the movie now, you think about, well, it's the story of Lydia and the Maitlands. And it's like, no, when you watch it, it's the story of the Maitlands and Lydia is there.
Yeah.
But it's really about Lydia. And so I do hope that they add some of that stuff too. Being written by Alfred Goff, who you probably know for writing Wednesday. So, this is a Burton and Pals production.
All Burton productions are Burton and Pals productions.
Hey, but you know what? This new crop of Pals,
Better.
definitely better than the old crop of Pals.
Better, I'll give it that.
I'll take a Jenna Ortega and an Alfred Goff over a fucking
a Johnny Depp
yeah.
and a Helena Bonham Carter, I guess.
Sure.
I don't have a problem with Helena Bonham Carter, but you know. The other writers attached, Seth Grahame-Smith, known for writing on Dark Shadows, which was rough. That was also
rough.
a Burton production. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Okay. But also Lego Batman.
Producer on it, and a writer on the Lego Batman movie.
Also Lego Batman, which was very good.
So, you know.
It's really funny. With writers, it's tough because you never know how much the studio has changed and how much the director changes.
Yeah.
And sometimes the writer is very good and you never, like Alfred Goff, like, yeah, he wrote Wednesday. He was also a writer he wrote on Spider-Man 2, the Tobey Maguire one. He wrote, he was the series creator on Smallville, which I really liked.
Which I haven't seen Smallville. Wednesday, I have pretty mixed feelings on.
Sure.
Which makes me a little nervous.
What if I told you, he helped out with The Mummy?
What kind of helped out?
The Mummy.
Which one?
He created some of the characters in The Mummy, is what it says, based on characters created by.
1999 Mummy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been around for a while. He's been bouncing around for a while.
I'm just double checking that you're not gonna bait and switch me on The Mummy. You know what I mean?
No, he's mostly been a TV guy, but he's helped. What if I told you he wrote Herbie Fully Loaded?
I'm back in.
Yeah.
I think the Wednesday show was a very good series. I just think it was a misinterpretation of the source material.
It wasn't an Addams Family.
If it was an Addams Family, I would think it's such a fun and cute show that I had a good time watching.
It was definitely, like we said, it was the Riverdale-ing of the Addams Family.
But not understanding the source material could be very bad for Beetlejuice. So I'm really hoping that is not a trend and that was just the direction that show went.
Look, Tim Burton has always talked about how much he loves Charles Addams and the work of Charles Addams. So it is a little weird that Wednesday sort of went the way it did. But also, like, Beetlejuice is his. You know what I mean? Beetlejuice is his. So
I know.
So he might have stronger ideas. He might want to keep it. But the other thing is, like, as he's gotten older, he's creatively made some moves.
Tim Burton has become a little bit of a parody of Tim Burton at times, but I do feel like he's come back around a little bit. He was real bad for a minute.
Can I tell
he
you?
was making some real shit for a minute.
Can I tell you? I think Wednesday really helped.
I think so too.
I think Wednesday really helped because
Wednesday's the best thing that he's done in a very long time.
Because it doesn't feel like the Addams Family, but it feels more like Tim Burton than anything Tim Burton has felt in a good long while.
I agree.
Probably since Alice in Wonderland. Maybe
The
even
first one.
before. Yeah.
Very much only the first one.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like Alice in Wonderland was his departure.
Yeah.
Where it was just like, oh, Tim Burton's just cashing them checks now.
I would say the first Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland still felt a little Tim Burton-y.
Yeah.
He did Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children and decimated one of my favorite books.
Just destroyed it.
Decimated one of my favorite books in the world.
Just burnt it to the ground.
Just truly like picked up the cover of the novel and said, oh, we don't need that. Just threw it.
Yeah.
Just
like,
fucking tossed it.
That seems neat.
Somebody
Here's
asked
what I'll
if
do
Danny
with it.
Elfman is doing music for Beetlejuice.
He is. Danny Elfman will be doing the music for Beetlejuice.
Great.
Now, Beetlejuice
Yeah.
implies the existence of Beetlejuice.
Could. Could.
Do we think that they're trying to set up for at least 2 movies by bringing this back?
It could be. It could be. I think they're leaving themselves open to it, and that's a fun thing, but it doesn't feel like they have to because it's like, well, you can't say it 3 times.
Yeah. I hope they're not planning for a sequel in a way where I go see this movie and there isn't an ending.
I doubt it.
You know what I mean? I'd
They'd
like
have
it
to
to
be
be
real confident about getting that 3rd movie.
I'd like it to be a self-contained thing.
This
you
movie
know?
took 100 years to make. There's no way.
700 years.
700 years.
Each year, more 100 than the last.
You know what else took a very fucking long time to make?
What's that?
The video game The Day Before.
Yeah. It took a while.
Uh-huh.
But it also took less time than it should have for a team that small.
Yeah.
And then it released, if you don't recall, The Day Before was supposed to be the biggest thing that ever happened.
Yeah.
It was the #1 trending thing on Steam. And then it came out and it was the most empty, broken game anybody had ever seen in their lives and had to get pulled.
Yeah, well, that is what happens when you accept volunteer work on your video game. When you don't pay people for working on the video game, the standards can't really be held terribly high. And a new documentary from German game sites Game2 and GameStar. It is entirely in German, so I watched with subtitles, but was very grateful for a summary by PC Gamer. Dove into it, interviewing 16 former Fantastic employees, which is the studio behind this game, about their experience working on this broken, unfinished, ungame of a game. And some of the things that came out in this are so fucking absurd. One, I mean, they talked a lot about the volunteer work that people were doing for it. The fact that they're calling it volunteer is generous.
Yeah, it was, they called it like, you know, part of community volunteers are helping us with the game and like not in terms of like testing and things like they were talking about, hey, if you help out with the game and you make assets or program, we will give you like free copies of the game or like in-game loot when the game releases. And it's like, dude, you can't do that.
So Fantastic is already a non-existent studio. And it was described as pure megalomaniacal chaos. It's a hard word to say. That was constantly changing behind the scene. At any given time, they were like, we got to change the plan for this. We got to change the plan for this. People involved in the game's character creator said that it had to be overhauled multiple times after trying to keep up with GTA Online, Hogwarts Legacy, and then Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, you don't do that. You can't and you don't.
New games came out and they were like, we got to change everything. We got to change everything. We got to make it more like this. And then
tell the volunteers we'll give them a cool in-game sweatshirt if they work 70 hours this week.
Exactly. The setting of the game, which was a smoky, oppressive city, was dramatically altered to become brighter and friendlier after one of the brothers behind the game played Spider-Man 2.
That's so like there's nothing to me that says we have no idea what we're doing. Like not just technically, but creatively. There's nothing that says grifter to me more than something like that. The kind of boss or creative lead who sees an episode of a TV show or reads a book or sees something trending and goes, that's trending right now. We got to redo everything. And it's like, no, that's trending right now.
Yeah.
You can't change this into looking like Spider-Man 2. We've been selling everybody. The Day Before was supposed to be a massively multiplayer online Last of Us, basically.
Well,
that's what everybody was looking at and everybody bought into on this pre-order.
Yeah.
And then to play Spider-Man 2 and be like, but this is also good.
What if we did this instead?
Sure, man, it is also good.
Now, it was sold to the public as an MMO. However, one of the devs said that they only learned that the game was supposed to be an MMO from watching the trailer that was released. They didn't know that they were making an MMO. That had not been communicated, which makes it seem like the brothers behind the game decided on a whim, let's say it's an MMO, and then we'll make it one. Let's do that.
Yeah, this was really bad. My favorite video, I mean, honestly, my favorite video was Donkey playing the game.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch Donkey's video playing The Day Before, it's wild. I'll tell you this, it looked like the most impressive, biggest scale lazy asset flip I'd ever seen. You know what I mean? Like somehow it was both simultaneously impressive and horrible.
Yeah.
Where it was like the servers were working. Like there were other players.
Yeah.
You could see them. There were people giving quests and stuff. You could walk up to them.
It was a game.
Like it was working. It was somehow
Technically.
working.
Yeah. But it looked like it shouldn't be.
No, it looked like the kind of game that they show on Law and Order when they're like, this is the game that turned him into a killer.
Yeah, a fake game.
Yeah.
Where they like quick throw together a little game that we can just show really quick. So now, though those things are really weird and frustrating and terrible in game development, that's not even close to the worst of it. In addition to the unpaid laborers in general, there was also even paid workers who were asked to do a great deal of voluntary unpaid overtime. Months of crunch. One of the devs said that they found themselves begging for a few hours break just to find time for a shower or meal during the process.
Wow.
One claim...
Well, you got to ask for a lot of time for the meal because the sink is way farther away than you think it is.
Exactly. One claim backed up by several of the sources that were reporting to us, they had 16 different people that they interviewed, says that employees were made to pay fines to the company for turning in substandard work. Pay fines.
No, this all sounds legal. This sounds above board.
With some reportedly forced to pay $1,930 for poor quality voice recordings.
Get fucked.
$1,900, almost $2,000 as a fine to the company.
You can't do that. You can't. You simply cannot. There's no legal way for you to do that.
And they just did it because they're not based in the US either. So there's also different labor laws that I'm not going to pretend to be familiar with because also workers were based all around the world in this.
Sure.
They're in Kazakhstan and Armenia and all different places.
Yeah, but no matter where you're working, the second your job says you owe us money, you
Can't be
simply
legal.
stop working for them.
So others, well, and they also kept other people like in line by a policy of spontaneous termination. One of the 5 testers was fired from the company just before the release after after a bug was encountered. One of the brothers played a game, encountered a bug, fired the tester.
Sure, the tester who created the bug.
Yeah,
Sure.
of course.
Sure. I'm sure, like, it doesn't matter whether the tester came across that bug or the tester already documented that bug.
Yep.
Tester has nothing to do with the bug existing.
Tester has nothing to do with it. So basically,
These dudes just didn't know how to make a video game,
Yeah.
did they?
so I've been avoiding saying their last name because I know I'm going to butcher it.
Yeah.
The Godovstovs are the brothers behind this game. No one seems to know where they are now.
No.
They've disappeared since the game launch and the studio closure. That's it.
Their headquarters is in Singapore. They were founded in 2015 in Yakutsk, Russia. So, they just disappeared.
They literally have just
literally
disappeared.
They literally just went, nope.
So did my mouse on my computer, so that's exciting.
Looking at their games, okay, they did make some games previously, including, I guess the biggest one that I knew of or had heard of was Prop Night. Prop Night was the one where like it's the hide and seek where you can turn into an object in the environment.
Yeah.
Which was like a VR chat popular game. Like
Right.
It's and they tried to make a game based on that. That's the only one that I've heard of, though it looks like they've made 4 different games. One of them was an adventure game, like an isometric adventure game, and one of them was like a Don't Starve ripoff with more realistic graphics.
Yeah.
But it looks like they were making like a lot of this game has already happened.
Yeah.
Let's palette swap this and get it out.
They were always grifters.
Yeah.
You don't show up and grift like this for the first time. That's not going to happen.
No.
I mean, the game itself was delayed for 8 months because they didn't check if they could get the trademark on the name before releasing a trailer. They released the original trailer and then they were like, everybody band together. Steam has blocked our game from being listed and it's Steam's fault. And that's because there was like a calendar app that already had the name trademarked the day before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they didn't check that.
Yeah. Oh, there's some confusion in the chat. Prop Night is not the one you're thinking of. You're thinking of Prop Hunt. That was the original game. Prop Night is the ripoff by Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely just were used to kludging together pre-made bits of code and plugins for game engines and releasing games.
Yeah.
Woof.
Absolutely wild. And maybe they just didn't expect, because this did become Steam's like most wishlisted game. I think maybe they thought they were just doing another one of those like bad, quick release clones that nobody would pay attention to. I'm sure they always hope that it'll get attention, but I'm sure they didn't anticipate how big this got from that trailer.
Yeah.
Because people really want that idea. When you put it as like the MMO and all of these things that it wasn't yet.
The amount of things that they showed off that you were able to do, the amount of stuff, like it was just one of those. It was one of those things that comes out every few years when a lot of people look at it and go, hey man, don't believe this.
Yeah.
Don't believe that this is happening.
Yeah.
Do not put money into this.
So Fantastic closed its doors only 4 days after the release of this game.
That's right.
4 days.
That's right. The game went dark within a week.
Wild.
By the time I was like, man, should I pay the money just to experience it? By the time I decided to, it was gone.
They claimed that the studio was only shutting down because of the poor performance due to a hate campaign by bloggers.
Yeah.
That was the only reason that the game wasn't doing well.
They were being unfairly attacked, really. That's what it was. They were being unfairly attacked. Listen.
Really unfair to them.
People are saying that we're doing all kinds of things like requesting money from our employees.
Yeah.
Or making people work for free or lying about what's in this game.
Yeah, making people beg for a break to eat and shower.
And like, mind your business is what we say to those bloggers.
I say, you know what? You're haters.
That's why are you trying to, who has not fined their employees thousands of dollars for poor work?
Yeah.
Let the one who has not fined their employees thousands of dollars for poor work cast the first stone at us.
Yeah. Every time we show the spreadsheet, either Alex or Anthony gets fined. Right, Alex?
That's right.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never shown the spreadsheet.
Alex is actually pretty good about not showing the spreadsheet. Anthony's been racking up fines, though.
I'll show the spreadsheet.
There is no spreadsheet.
Cut to my screen right now,
Don't you dare, Alex. I will fine you.
Alex, cut to my screen.
Absolutely not.
Do it.
He knows better.
Do it.
That's a fine. You know what? Just saying that is a fine.
Cut to Saige's screen.
Stop it. I will find myself.
I know you will.
I don't know whose fault that would be, mine or Alex. I don't know yet. I'll figure it out after.
Listen, we've all fined each other many times.
Yeah.
Here. Like the amount of times that we've charged each other's fines.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just put a ticket on Saige's car.
Yeah.
There was one time.
They're written in crayon, so I can tell it's Anthony.
Yeah, I'll put a boot on Saige's car too. One time I put a boot on Saige's car and she's like, what? I was like, you gotta obey the rules.
And
you gotta pay the fines.
And I still don't know what the rules were.
That's right. Look them up. You should know.
Anyways, that's fucking bananas. There's a 30-minute documentary series on the Game 2 YouTube channel. Like I said, it is in German, but it does have English subtitles if you want to check out the whole thing and hear from a bunch of people that worked on it. Because, oh my God. Wow. Absolutely wild.
Absolutely wild.
Do you want to keep talking about like legally businessy things?
I mean, we can. We can.
Let's get into it, because while we're talking about strange disputes with companies, let's talk about the man that owes Nintendo $14 million. Gary Bowser. Now,
so
I gotta
long,
say,
Gary Bowser.
that's what he's actually saying.
That's what he's actually
we thought
saying.
He was saying Gay Bowser. He is saying Gary Bowser. It gets really confusing when you get into this, because obviously there's King Bowser. Then you've got Doug Bowser and you've got Gary Bowser. And I gotta be honest, I've never in my life met someone with the last name Bowser. So I just don't know how they keep doing this.
What's wild is that one of these Bowsers runs Nintendo and the other Bowser owes Nintendo $14 million.
Like, what the fuck?
And for a second, I thought that perhaps the president of Nintendo America had done poor work and Nintendo of Japan had fined him.
Imprisoned him.
Had fined him like you do when employees do poor work.
Yeah.
But no, this is the 54-year-old programmer who has run basically, he was
He was kind of a middleman for like
Team Executor, like mod chips.
Yeah.
And also for ROM downloading sites.
Yeah.
And he basically like, he got fined hard by Nintendo.
He didn't just get fined. He went to prison.
He went to jail.
He went to prison. So he just got out. He just served 14 months of a 40-month sentence, getting out early for good behavior. And still owes $14.5 million to Nintendo for crimes.
Yeah, he's saying that he's out of prison. He is having trouble making rent because he has to start paying this fine. He's on a repayment schedule.
Yeah.
And remember, like, this is the sort of thing that happens, sometimes, like if you sue a large corporation and the large corporation ends up owing you $14 million, you'd be shocked how rarely the corporation winds up giving you that money.
Yeah.
Because the corporation has more money than you and they have more lawyers than you. And if you're late on your payments, they go, take us to court about it.
Yeah.
And when it's flipped and you owe the corporation money, you better pay on time or you'll go back to jail.
Right.
So this is very cool for Doug Bowser.
Gary.
Gary.
Well, cool for Doug, I guess.
King Bowser.
Doug wins. Gary loses.
Yeah, this is very cool for Doug Bowser.
Yeah,
very
what you did say
uncool
earlier, you said one runs Nintendo, one owes Nintendo $14 million. You
one
didn't mention
sock
the third.
cutter, he cuts socks. Two sock cutters, they cut socks. Three sock cutters, they cut socks. Four sock cutters, they cut socks. Five sock cutters, they cut socks. Six sock cutters, they cut socks. Seven sock cutters.
Okay. Anyways, so you didn't mention though the third Bowser. One runs Nintendo, one owes Nintendo $14 million.
One's a gay icon.
One is a gay icon. Thank you. So here's the thing. This interview with The Guardian is an incredibly sympathetic interview with Gary Bowser that is worthwhile because they're just talking about him just kind of being a guy and him like he had to like crash with friends for a while because he couldn't afford to get a place out of prison.
Yeah.
And he also talks about how he didn't make any of the things that he has been sent to prison for.
No, he has nothing to do with Team Executor except for the fact that like sometimes Team Executor would send him stuff and he would find testers for products and like but like basically Team Executor, nobody from Team Executor got in trouble.
No, nobody got caught.
Chips.
Yeah. They didn't get caught. That's the thing. He got caught and got found. So essentially the way he describes it is that he didn't work on or develop or make any of the products that sent him to prison. He just updated the websites and told people what they could buy and kept them informed about what was coming next. So that was his role in all of this. And it definitely seems like Nintendo has decided to make an example out of him.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're like, hey, well, this is the one we've got. They don't care about catching the other people.
Yeah.
They care about it stopping.
Yeah, just know that if you do get caught, anybody who gets caught, this will happen.
They are willing to ruin one person's life the most to not have to deal with the cases with everybody.
This dude, he spent his arrest came during the height of the pandemic, which lengthened everything. He spent more time in holding. He spent more time waiting for his trial in his civil suit.
Yeah.
He spent more time, like all of this was just made everything more nightmarish to him. He had to spend a lot of time in isolation.
Yeah.
Which is extremely hard.
He also said that most likely he thinks he could have fought the allegations and potentially affected it. But fighting 13 charges against Nintendo was just too expensive. He just couldn't afford the time and money.
Yep.
So it's not like this dude was making, it seems like not making a ton of money off of this, like, hacking deal that they had.
No, it seems like if he pled guilty, like I guess Nintendo said if he pled guilty, they would remove some of the charges.
So he said that it was easier to just plead guilty and get a couple of the charges rather than fight all 13. And then as part of that agreement, he now has to send Nintendo 20 to 30% of any money left over after he pays for the necessities every month.
He says, I'll pay them what I can, which won't be very much money, that's for sure. Which, despite his predicament, Bowser counts his blessings. It could be a lot worse, he says. Could it? I mean, I guess. But this sucks. Can you imagine having to owe Mario 20 to 30% of your paycheck?
I can't.
Can you imagine having Toad calling you up every fucking payday? Like, where's the money, Bowser?
It's like you had a bad divorce with Mario.
Yeah. And I could imagine somebody having a bad divorce with Daisy. I think Daisy's gonna.
I think Daisy deserves it.
No, Daisy deserves it. But
I don't think that's a bad divorce. I think she's getting what she owes, Queen.
Absolutely, but I think she does not make that. I don't think that's an easy divorce.
Because I think she knows what she's worth.
That's right.
But Mario.
Fucking Birdo coming to your door.
Yeah.
It's just spitting eggs at you.
Yeah.
Because you're not giving 30% of your income to Birdo.
It's one of those things too where like when you think about it and you're like, wow, if I had to give up 20 to 30% of my paycheck, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh my God, like that's so much fucking money. And then you think about 20% of my paycheck to Nintendo.
Yeah.
And if I were to do that math about how much money that is, Nintendo wouldn't even notice it.
No.
Nintendo,
That's the thing.
that's like,
He's saying.
like that's so nothing to Nintendo that he can pay for the rest of his life. And at the very end of his life, that would still be an amount of money Nintendo could fucking set on the ground and forget about.
Yeah, they
and
won't
not
even
notice.
All
They won't notice.
All they notice is whether the payments are coming in because they're making an example of him.
Yeah.
He said that he's found a place to live now.
Yeah.
But after rent, he probably has a couple of $100 left over for food and other necessities. He assumes he'll be turning to food support services. That's like, here's the thing. This dude is going to be making so little money.
Yeah.
And having so little money left over that to pay to Nintendo that I would not be shocked if now public programs are going to be supporting this guy so he can pay Birdo the money he owes.
Yeah.
Which means in order to make an example of this guy,
Yeah.
Nintendo has said, everybody, you're responsible for this guy and
Yeah.
we're responsible for taking money from him.
He also, I mean, they talk a lot in this article, and this article is genuinely devastating to read. They talk a lot about him being somebody who has like really bad chronic pain and has to be in consistent physical therapy for his back. And that like, that is also just a huge cost every month. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, guys, this is the saddest thing. It's so hard to read. The article is so sad.
This is a human being where a corporation decided we have to make sure people know that mod chips are bad.
Yeah.
Which, like, here's the thing. There have been so many cases about emulators and mod chips, and they all try to set new precedent. And I want to dig into what made this Team Executor lawsuit
Yeah.
successful. Because in the past, you know, Nintendo has been able to sort of shut down companies who
Yeah.
make like the R4 mod chip for the DS.
Right.
Nintendo was able to shut down that company because it was like they proved in a specific country. I think they proved in Japan that
Which,
it was
like-
that it was stealing, that they were stealing their property and doing material
And
damage.
Japan does not fuck around with that shit. Financial crimes in Japan are a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Ask Sonic's dad.
But like this is a company like Team Executor and Gary Bowser are
Yeah.
outside of Japan.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what made this such a devastating case.
Yeah.
But it's fucked up that in order to make this point, Nintendo was like, we're just going to destroy this dude's life. This isn't even the dude's life that we want.
Yeah.
But this is the life we can get.
Do you want to hear another really just fucking like every excerpt from this article? Ready? So he said, while he was in prison, he said that he was paid to counsel other prisoners that were on suicide watch, and that he like enjoyed doing it, and he has a very optimistic view on it. He said a lot of people were going crazy, banging their cell doors, screaming, yelling, harming themselves, and he got the chance to do counseling, and he got paid to do so for other prisoners. $1 per day.
Per day?
Oh, no, sorry, $1 per hour.
$1
My bad.
per hour.
$1 per hour, and he could do 4-hour shifts while he was in prison. And he was in jail paying Nintendo $25 a month on his prison money for counseling.
That means he was making like he was doing 100 hours of counseling probably because he's paying Nintendo 20 to 30%.
He was allowed to do 4 hours per day.
Yeah. So that means he was doing about 100 hours of counseling. He was making $100. He was sending 25 to Nintendo from jail. And like, look, here's the thing. If they found that there's something that there's something illegal about the Team Executor mod chips, if they found that there's something illegal about selling these mod chips, sure, the guy broke the law.
Yeah.
Sure, there should be some sort of punishment for the guy who broke the law. This is not it.
Here's the thing.
This is not it.
Financial penalties are only penalties for the poor.
That's right. Any law that you can pay a fine to get out of,
Yep.
that's just for poor people.
Mm-hmm. And mind you, he did also obviously serve prison time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's $14 million fine. Oh my God.
Yeah, he's mostly making money now for necessities off of a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Like this is like his family isn't talking to him.
Devastating.
Like, this is rough.
This is a fucking rough thing. I'm sorry to put this in the middle of the show. I just read it and I was like, you guys have to hear about this.
Yeah.
This is wild. It was bananas.
It's a real bummer. It's a real bummer.
The prison system's really bad as well. Just as a reminder, abolish prisons.
Yeah. In some more legal news, let's talk about this.
More legal news.
Because it's not as soul crushing. It's actually pretty good. It's just legal news.
Yeah.
Midjourney, the AI image creation tool.
Yeah.
That the new generation of artists, prompt engineers are using. Those are the new artists, Saige, the people who come up with the prompts to make the AI images go. Some documents leaked from, or I guess didn't really leak. They're part of a lawsuit that artists have against Midjourney right now. We talked about this class action lawsuit.
Yes.
A bunch of artists are currently in court against Midjourney, and some of the stuff from the lawsuit has come out, including the names of 16,000 artists from official Midjourney documents that they knowingly stole from to train the AI, as well as some very cool Discord conversations.
Yep.
Between people that were working on Midjourney, saying things like, also I should be clear, it's not just genres. I also took artist names. It's mostly artist names, 4,000 names and 1,000 styles. These are pre-rendered. You can query them fast, which means like you can look up these artist names very quickly to influence your art. Now somebody said, what you need to do is we take all of these, everything from this document, all these artist names, and we launder it through a fine-tuned codex. Which, if you're wondering what that means, somebody afterwards says, yeah, at some point it'll become impossible to trace what's a derivative work in the eyes of copyright. And then a third person says, all you have to do is just use those scraped data sets and then conveniently forget what you used to train the model. Boom, legal problems solved forever. Literally spoken in the Discord.
You guys, I love when people that want to do crimes are so bad at crimes.
It's amazing. And then this I love.
Yeah.
This third part of the conversation. The artist names came from Wikipedia and Magic the Gathering. We knew it.
Of course.
We knew it. We saw names like Greg Rutkowski. We saw names like Tyler Jacobson. We saw these names being used.
Oh, 100%.
In AI prompts. And every time people use them, it was like, that looks like a fucking Greg Rutkowski painting.
They are going back and forth on all of this. And there's somebody that's like, oh, okay. So like the main guy is like, if anybody wants to add any things, feel free to add them under proposed additions. Someone replied, I've got 16,000 artists. Too many? And they said, not at all. Just dump them in the proposed edition thing.
Whoo!
Oh my God.
Whoo!
Whoo! I'm so glad that these conversations have come out and that there is very hopefully some accountability to follow. Now, it is interesting to follow like right on the other side of this, of these legal cases where obviously we have empathy for Gary Bowser in that situation against a mega corporation and none for a bunch of people who stole from independent artists.
That's right. As a matter of fact, we've had in the past few weeks, of course, Sam Altman, some of the people behind OpenAI, first of all saying that, number one, they would pay any legal fees, any legal defense fees for anybody that used AI and was taken to court by an artist.
Yeah.
Now, this is something that CEOs have said before. This is part of the Elon Musk playbook. It's like if something goes wrong, the Donald Trump playbook, the president of the United States has said this, where it's like, if you get taken to court for doing shady shit, we'll pay your legal fees.
Yeah,
They don't. They never will.
No.
They just say it because they want to publicly project an image of, number one, we're so sure that this will never happen, and number two, we've got the money to fight it if it does. But we've also seen, just in the last couple weeks, OpenAI, the makers of ChatGPT, asking for a copyright exception in court for OpenAI, saying there is no way to train something like ChatGPT without using copywritten material. We should have a copyright exception because this product is so important. And what's scary is corporations ask for shit like this and sometimes they get it.
That's true.
And so I don't like that this is happening. But
Don't
the
like
fact
it.
that OpenAI can go, but what we're doing is so important that we should be literally above this law.
Yeah.
Now, this is different than Midjourney. This is the ChatGPT people.
Yeah.
But if they do that, it's everything that ChatGPT, everything that AI executives are doing right now is to set legal precedent. So when they say something like ChatGPT should have a copyright exception, well, then Midjourney can go to the courts as well and be like, we're just like ChatGPT, but for pictures. So we should have a copyright
There's a precedent,
exception.
so
There's sort of a legal precedent here. And the other thing, when they say things like, oh, AI is really powerful and really dangerous, and so only people who have licenses should use AI. Well, there's a reason why they're arguing for that.
Yeah.
They want those licenses to be expensive and hard to get, so the average person doesn't have access to AI without paying their fees. AI is the biggest fucking grift right now, y'all.
And currently, every average person loses.
It's
Like,
such
that's
a
it.
fucking nightmare.
Well, that's all really bad. We don't have a ton of time left in the show, and I would like to bring it back up a little bit.
That's right.
I would like to come back up, and I'd like to talk about Elmo.
Elmo hasn't had the best week.
Well,
Elmo's had an listen, Elmo tweeted something this week, and we all unfortunately, I think, took a little too much advantage of Elmo. He's just one little guy.
he's just one little guy. Now, you probably saw, if you're on Twitter at all, Elmo tweeted, Elmo's just checking in. How's everybody doing? A sweet, wholesome tweet. And everybody answered. And it's 2024, baby. We're not saying good, how are you, Elmo, anymore. Everybody got straight to trauma dumping on Elmo.
Yeah. Trauma dumping on Elmo a lot. A lot of people, Elmo, I'm having a rough time. Not well, Elmo. They done raised rent and everything at this point. I'm coming to live with you on Sesame Street. And the person who's running the Sesame Street account and is running the Elmo account is doing their best. Elmo responded to that with, Elmo would love that, #neighbors. Because what is Elmo supposed to do?
What's Elmo supposed to say?
And Elmo's not even real, y'all. You don't trauma dump on the person that's got to write the tweets for Elmo.
All of these people, I'm at my lowest. Thanks for asking. Elmo, we are tired.
Elmo, I'm having a rough time. Elmo hopes you're doing okay. Elmo loves you today and every day. Elmo was really, really there for everyone.
Elmo handled it really well. And I'm going to be honest, I cried a little at Elmo's responses. And then he did a follow-up tweet that said, wow, Elmo's so glad he asked. Elmo learned that it's important to ask a friend how they're doing. Elmo will check in again soon, friends. Elmo loves you.
Not since the Steve from Blue's Clues tweet of 2023
Right?
have I felt this intensely.
It's so sad and so cute and so lovely.
Elmo did his best. And let me tell you something.
Great job.
He did his best. And do you know what Elmo got for it?
What did Elmo get for it?
Elmo got, number one, all of us trauma dumping on him, but also Elmo got attacked by Larry David on the Today Show.
Yeah, what the fuck was this about?
Larry David was just around at the Today Show. I am going to play a little bit of audio here.
Okay.
Al Roker's trying to do the weather. He rips off Elmo's microphone.
Shakes his head and pretends to punch. Who is that next to Elmo? Is that Elmo's?
That's the other one.
Is that who is
the name of that? What is the name of that guy?
What's the name of the one next to Elmo? That's also like
I want to say it's like Alfred or something.
He looks related to Elmo.
He's not, but I forget that Muppet's name. But like everybody's like, whoa, 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 and then
it's his dad.
People are like,
I thought so. It is.
Oh, okay. From the yeah.
Yeah, he came out and he grabbed Elmo's head and then tried to hit his dad.
So they're saying, ask permission before you touch people, Larry.
Yeah.
Like Elmo's dad is like, you can't touch people without their permission. And then they ask him, come back and let's talk about how you're feeling. Elmo and his dad are like, listen up, Larry David, come back. And Larry David refuses to come over. He's like, someone had to do it. No one had to do it, Larry David. No one had to do it, Larry David.
Why are you being weird? Why do you need so much attention, Larry David? Shut up.
Don't do that, Larry David.
We can go off Anthony's screen now.
Don't do that, Larry David.
We don't. Nobody needed to do that. I actually don't think it's funny and actually think it's dumb and weird. I actually think it was a dumb, weird old guy bit, and I think it was not funny.
Here's the thing that we've seen.
I'm not offended. I just think it was deeply unfunny. I'm offended by how unfunny Larry David was.
Here's the thing that we've seen throughout all of the years of the Muppets' existence.
Yeah.
You can do very adult bits with the Muppets on talk shows. They roll with it. Those people are brilliant.
Yeah.
You can do fun stuff with the Muppets.
Yeah.
You can even you can dunk on the Muppets in front of them. They will answer. They will do everything back. Why, out of all the bits you're going to do to the Muppets, you physically assault a Muppet and then walk away? It's super weird.
It's so disrespectful,
especially because Larry David is a dude that's basically known for just like verbally eviscerating, right? Like he's a guy who will come over and just do a verbal back and forth with you. What made him in that moment want to do that weird, odd bit?
I genuinely don't get it. And like, look, Sesame Street is primarily publicly funded. Sesame Street goes hard on trying to be like a pretty good, like genuine good thing.
Yeah.
Like Sesame Street is actually one of the few good things.
And it's
in
not
this
easy for them
world.
right now because a huge chunk of their funding comes from HBO, which means they're part of the Zaslav empire right now.
Like
and they
really doing their best.
They're having a bad time.
All of this stuff is so wholesome and so sweet, and it is for children. And it's just like, hey, let children have something. That's fucking weird. Don't pretend to strangle Elmo and hit his dad, you fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Like that's
a weird bit to do with Muppets.
So weird. And again, even like the Muppets, and I know that like Sesame Street are kind of Muppets, but specifically Sesame Street, specifically Elmo, that is like a little bit sacred to me.
Yeah.
In the way that they have like preserved the Sesame Street brand.
Now on American TV, but I've seen like there's some British talk shows and things like that.
Jokes and stuff like that, but
where
they're
they make
very
adult
protective
jokes.
about Elmo's brand.
Yeah, but Elmo will goof around.
Yeah.
And in a semi-adult way.
Yes.
But he's always positive. It was just a weird bit, Larry David.
It was.
Particularly on a week when Elmo was there for all of us. Lawrence David.
So weird.
I don't know.
Weird. I don't know. I guess like my takeaway from that is like, hey, adults, stop trying to ruin things for children. It's already pretty bad for children right now. People of Larry David's generation, you literally destroyed the planet. So like maybe give the kids a fucking break, you weirdo.
And what's weird is he's usually the sort of person who will make that bit. He will acknowledge that. He's usually his stuff is usually very clever. Like, yeah, he's a curmudgeon. His thing is that he's old and mean.
Yeah.
But like, he's usually clever about it. That's why people like him.
Yeah.
This was just a weird, I see a thing. I'm going to that's the sort of shit I'd do if I hadn't taken my Adderall.
Yeah. He let his intrusive thoughts win and he tried to kill Elmo. And I think that maybe he should not be in public for a minute. Like, I think you should take a break.
Well,
I think you should take the week off, Larry David, and think about what you've done.
Well, real briefly before we go, what if I told you there was something more visually disturbing than what we just saw.
I'd be pretty bummed.
Well, be prepared to get bumped because we're living in the future, baby. The Apple Vision is here.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've heard about this yet. A lot of people are doing their reviews. Justine had a great review. Marquez Brownlee had a great review. But one of the things that they talked about, Saige, is the feature called Personas, which is not you're a cool teenager who summons a monster to fight for you. No, this is if you're doing FaceTime, if you answer a FaceTime call from an Apple Vision, how does it show you? You might be wondering. How do you get a camera view of me?
I didn't know you could FaceTime in the Apple Vision Pro, so this is news to me and not a question I was asking.
Well, now that you know, you might be wondering, and the answer is it has a scan of your face and does a 3D reconstruction of you on FaceTime. I'd like to show you 3 personas, Justine, Marquez, and Brian Tong, all talking to each other using their personas. This is from Brian's YouTube channel. Now the hands are being reconstructed. Those are 3D hands. When you create your persona, your hair, your clothes, your jewelry, everything is frozen the way it was. That's why like Justine's necklace is crooked. It will be crooked forever until she recreates her persona. Marquez and Brian's hair looks like a weird lump.
Oh, I hate it.
It's just the most dystopian thing.
Oh, I don't like it one bit.
You know?
Okay, yeah, that's enough of that.
It's smooth.
That's enough of that.
It's very...
And they're all in like a outdoor mountain backdrop.
Yeah,
so they all look like they're ghosts.
Yeah, they're ghosts floating
You
in
know what I mean?
space.
They look like they're like ghosts coming to deliver you a message.
It will change your audio based on the background you choose.
Oh,
so if you
thank
choose
you.
to be in a room, it makes it sound like a little more present and echoier. It's
And
very
what? I
odd.
could be like, sorry, I'm at a construction site, and the Apple Vision Pro is going to be like,
Yeah.
why?
Because it's
Why would I want to say I'm somewhere loud?
Because it's the future, Saige.
Or like I'm outside and it's going to make outside noises.
Yeah. It'll do like
Didn't we work really hard on making technology that would mute background noises so
do
that
like
we could
a-
comfortably have conversations?
It'll be like a stream and a babbling brook. I got to tell you, everything I've watched about the Apple Vision really makes it look like $3,500 looking for a usage.
I have so many better ways that people could spend $3,500. I could name one of them right now.
Name it.
Patreon.com/pixelcircus.
Oh, you know, that's a great thing to bring up because as we're ending the show here today, it is a Patreon clip day.
It is. Every Friday, you get a bonus clip from the show. Something, we've got a ton of news stories we didn't get to today. We have so much we could talk about on the Patreon. It was a full run of show today, and we spent a long time talking about 3 things. So
That's what
that'll
we
be
do,
over on the
baby.
Patreon. That's at patreon.com/pixelcircus. And you can get those clips starting at $5 a month.
That's right.
And recently, Kaylee and I have filmed a couple of updates for you all that are over on the Patreon already. You can catch the live stream that we did and the update before that. And it let you know some new exclusives that are coming to the Patreon very soon. New exclusives coming to the Patreon very soon.
More like blues exclusives.
Hey, because children's shows?
Yeah, I don't know,
guess?
dude. Leave me alone. Bring my screen up while we do this close.
Don't.
Bring my screen up.
Don't do it.
Alex, bring up my screen right now.
You'll be fined.
No, you won't be fined.
Alex.
Bring it up.
You will be fined.
Bring up the, no,
Do
bring
not
it up.
bring it up.
People want to see this.
They
the
don't.
people need to see it.
It's just more of the fucking.
Yeah.
We've
Just
seen
bring it
them.
up.
We've
Just bring
seen
it
them.
up.
We've seen them.
Yeah. Look at those weird plastic people. Hell yeah.
You're both getting fined.
That's okay. I put a boot on your car before I came in. Saige,
Yeah.
when you are not here, what do you do?
I'm trying to get the boot that you keep putting on my car off.
Yeah, that's true.
I haven't been live on my Twitch channel. You may have thought it was because I was moving, but really it's because every day Anthony puts a boot back on my car.
That's right, until you learn your lesson.
What lesson?
Follow the rules.
What rules?
If you're looking for me, by the way, you could find me everywhere online at Carboni, except for here on Twitch, where I'm at Anthony Carboni. And of course, my podcast is at wehaveconcerns.com. Please bring up my screen, Alex.
I'm not going to
Alex,
do that.
please bring up my screen.
I got in trouble once.
Alex can't afford it.
All right, fine. Well, then, Alex, what do you do with your life?
Wow. I hang out online at Alder_Mancy on Twitter. I'm also back to streaming my queer horror D&D campaign, Strange Hungers, on Saturday mornings. I'm very excited to be back. We're doing some hag stuff. You can
Ooh.
find us on Total Party Kiss Saturday morning at 9 a.m. PST.
I'm hoping to be back to stream over the weekend, but everything's on the floor
You
or
gotta move
inside a
in,
box.
get your life
Everything's
together.
either on the floor or inside a box. I don't know where anything is
Yeah.
yet, so we'll see.
We want to thank everybody who helps us out. We want to thank you just for being here today.
Yeah.
Watching the show. We really appreciate you.
We make a show just so you'll watch it. So if you show up and you watch it, whether you're on Twitch, on YouTube, on Spotify, just listening to it, we appreciate you so very much. And hey, something you can do for free that's really awesome is just like and comment on the YouTube.
That's right. We
it.
really, really would appreciate that. We're growing the YouTube right now, and everything that y'all have been doing has been helping so much. So thank you for that. Thank you to everybody who tweets when we go live. Thank you to everybody who submits stories. All of you are just really, really wonderful. And goodness gracious, how could we do it without you? Is what I'm saying.
Truly, last episode was the first time that we ever were like, shit, we should ask people to comment and like the YouTube upload. And y'all fucking did it. And that's very cool of you. And I just want to say, thank you very much. Maybe we'll start working it into the show where we like grab some comments and show them on the show. So
Yeah.
we'd appreciate that.